We're here now in the studio with Finnet Chief Operating and Innovation Officer, Bapak Aribowo Romdam. Good morning, Pak.
Good morning, Bapak. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
now,
thanks.
Finnet has been involved in digital payments since 2006.
Yes.
Now, a lot of us are perhaps not aware, but with that amount, how do you see the development of digital payment now over almost 10 years, right?
Okay.
Over 10 years.
Okay. Let's see that if we are talking about digital payment, we should see the growth of the digital payment both in Indonesia and in the world.
Okay.
But in the world, the digital payment right now, the growth is around 30%. How about in Indonesia? Indonesia also, they seem to be more like it's the same in terms of growth of the digital payment. It's around 20 and 30%.
Okay.
But means, what is the means? Why the digital payment is growth in Indonesia? Because most of us right now, they like to use the digital payment, particularly the millennial.
Okay.
Why millennials? They use practices because if they want they pay something, it's easy to use a digital payment. They're more relaxed, more relaxed to use the digital payment and more secure. Because if we are talking about the cash, sometimes there is a lot fake,
Counterfeit bills.
counterfeiting, something
Right.
like that. Something like
Correct.
that. That's why they move forward to the digital payment.
Yeah, I think it's like if I think my mom would always, it was so hard to shift my mom to
Yes.
digital anything. But
Yes.
people nowadays feel so much more secure because you're not carrying big wads of cash around, especially since our denomination is so big. Now, when it comes to Finnet, how's Finnet been able to stay competitive in the world of digital payment? Because there's so many different platforms out there these days.
Okay, right now Finnet, just talk about Finnet first. Finnet is the company established since 2006. The business of the Finnet is more or less on the right now in the focus on the digital payment. So for the Finnet itself, right now, Finnet have completed license of the digital payment. Let's say we have already have got the license from the regulator as a payment provider, payment system provider, categories 1. Means that we have the capability to use e-money. We have to have a payment gateway. We have to have wallet. We have to have a debit acquiring. We have to remittances. All of those license right now. We try to develop the product to give the solutions to the society.
Okay.
Not only the society, let's say, also the area of the public or the government, local government.
Okay.
Let's say we help local government to facilitate the payment of the payment of liabilities of the society to pay the, let's say, tax.
For example, property
let's say
tax, and things like
tax,
that.
and then retributions. I'll say also the parking, something like that. We do a lot of this.
Okay.
That is why we help all of those society, both in the local government, also in the headquarters.
Yeah. By the way, that is a big help for me. I just paid my property tax. I'm just so happy I don't have to line up somewhere again like we used to do back in the day
That's
and bring
right.
your little slip.
Yep.
Everything is online, and the amount even just pops up these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's already, it's
Correct.
already registered.
Yeah.
It's very great.
Also, we have also the helping some state-owned government like Pelni, and then we have the ISDP. If you want to cross the sea from the Merak to Bakahuni,
Right.
you have to use a ferry. Easy.
Correct.
We give them the solution using our payment gateway. And then we have to pay
Right.
we have to pay the online for the ticket.
Right.
And then after you pay, you can go to the
Yeah, I read about that
Ferry.
'cause I recently made a land trip and I had to cross Banyuwangi.
Yeah.
And I had to use that exact app that you're talking
Yeah,
about.
and then also right now we also just now we have already assigned by the Rotex. Rotex is the assigned by the Ministry of PUPR, PUPR to replace all of the card payment or e-money payment, card base in the toll road that will be replaced
Oh,
by
wow.
the mobile in
Okay.
the future.
Oh.
But
That will save a lot of the lineups that we
Yeah.
get during rush hour.
there will be implement next year. I think.
Yeah.
Oh, so from our mobile phones.
On mobile phone.
That's
amazing.
awesome.
Yeah.
But I hope I don't drop my mobile phone. That's my
That'll be
only concern.
automatic.
But you know, we've spoken about the pandemic, right? And
Yes.
the pandemic has obviously accelerated the demand for digital payments. And how do you see this acceleration faster than even before? How is this affecting the business of Finnet itself?
Okay. For the because of the pandemic, the society enforced to change the behavior of the payment. They have to use that they have to use using non-cash payment. Why? They have to use the non-cash payment because there is no alternative. There is no choice.
Right.
If you are still using the money, they fear that affected to the pandemic, right? Because if using the money
You're
itself,
handling it.
handling,
Right.
and then virus will be fire you,
Right.
fire you. But
Yeah.
so they tend to change the behavior of the payment. So I think for the Finnet is based on the opportunity. Based on the opportunity, we develop a lot of solutions
Okay.
to cater to facilitate of the society to grab the market.
Okay.
Let's say we have collaboration with the I already talked about the ISTP, and then we have to some e-commerce to use our solution to have payment subsidy. This is the opportunity. With this opportunity, I think the growth of the Finnet in terms of transaction around 20%, 25%.
Okay.
And in terms of transactions,
Okay.
that's quite big.
Right.
But is it in the, or not, the growth itself is not only for the Finnet, but also the whole player. Also, they
Sure.
have the same.
Everyone goes along
everywhere.
with it. Sure. Everyone can benefit.
Yes.
Now, a lot of those that are experiencing a benefit, especially, I notice it myself. A lot of things that I use digital payments for is for MSMEs.
Yes.
The existence of digital payments have been very helpful for MSMEs. So, when it comes to Finnet, what sort of solutions and conveniences do you offer for MSMEs?
So the issue of the SMEs sometimes is they have a limited on the capital, right?
Correct.
And then also not also limited on the capital. They have also the lack of the IT literate. That's why in Finnet itself we try to thinking and to develop the product to cater or facilitate the SME. Let's say we will offer the SMEs like a settlement. It's settlement, same-day settlement.
Okay.
Same-day settlement.
So they don't
It
have
means
to wait.
that same-day. What is the meaning of same-day settlement? If we do the transactions, the SME will get directly money. They have the get directly money. So that's why they don't need expect because right now the trend in Indonesia, all of the settlement for the SME using H plus one.
So the next day,
The next
you have
day.
to wait 1 day.
Next day settlement.
Right.
That's why the SME have to have more working capital.
Okay.
More working capital.
Right.
But with the same day settlement, they need less capital. Less capital. That's why they prefer using and then also another things to support the SME. Also, we create some product. We call it Mitra FinPay. Mitra FinPay is to help the SME. Let's say for recording all of the transactions.
Okay.
Let's say how many goods they already sell today, and then they record in the revenue, and then what expenses they already spend, and then they already record.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So it
like
can
a-
work like a balance sheet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the balance sheet.
balance
That's a
sheet, that's right.
balance more in the
Automated
simple balance sheet.
Right.
We call it a simple balance.
Right.
That easier to SME to use this. And then also in the Mitra FinPay also, we give them some facilities. Let's say we give them the if they want to sell the we call it airtime or pulsa,
Okay.
and then we want to pay the bill or something like they provide we do in the we
Oh,
have
for the business itself.
the business itself.
Oh, okay.
And then also another things to facilitate the SME also, we provide also the easiest to pay the tax. Let's
Okay.
say if you want to pay the tax, because we already assigned by the Ministry of Finance, we call it MPN Gen 3. That's why we put it into the Mitra FinPay. So every merchant or SME, they can transfer their tax to using MPN Generation 3.
I think all of these solutions certainly help for those because, not everyone who has an MSME small business is business savvy,
Yes.
Yeah.
right? And then sometimes you lose track of things. I
Yes,
haven't
yes.
made my tax payments,
Yes.
or I'm losing track of my daily revenue. So that's certainly going to be helpful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
certainly. And we've also spoken about, beforehand, we've spoken about the pandemic that has, catapulted digitalization. And we've heard that the G20 meetings that are happening with the finance ministers, they've decided, to make cross-border policies, especially when it comes to digital payments.
Right.
There are 5 countries that
Yes.
are going to have a singular QR-based payment system. As somebody in the digital payment industry, how do you think that is going to work? And perhaps in your platform, is that going to be also a part of it?
Yes. We on the collaboration for the QRAS for the cross-border payment. I think Finnet right now already have a collaboration with Jalin to facilitate the cross-border payment.
Okay.
But the initiative of cross-border payment from the regulator perspective I think, is good. I think it's good, or it's good. Why? Why is good? Because we have to compete with the global players like Visa,
Yeah.
Master.
Right.
That's why the opportunity here using the collaborative platform within the 5 countries, I think will impact of the efficiency. In terms of pricing, I think will be less.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
in terms of pricing will be less. That's why I think more people very confident using this.
Definitely.
And then also, not only QRS, because QRS in the future not only cater for the purchase, but also toward the transfer,
Correct.
cross-border transfer. This is good for the nation, I think. Good for the cater the we call it TKI or the migrant worker
Foreign
from
domestic-
Indonesia
from
when they work in Malaysia. There's
Yes.
a lot of
You want to send money.
send money in
Right.
Indonesia. That's easiest.
Right.
Yeah.
You mentioned that before.
Yeah, I mentioned that
Yes.
before. I remember living in Hong Kong where there was just so many, for Indonesian workers, and they have to line up in banks
Yes.
doing remittance.
And then there's fees, right?
manually, and the
Yes.
fees are quite amazing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So that would
That's
be
the opportunity, I think.
Right.
Mm.
You mentioned earlier, Bapa, about digital literacy. That's one of the challenges for Indonesians
Yes.
to fully adopt digital payments. What is Finnet strategy to help overcome this learning curve when it comes to digital literacy?
Okay. I think for the Finnet, we try to give some
Okay.
education for the society using all of the we have some kind of small
Okay.
film, and then
Tutorials. Yeah.
some tutorial to educate the users.
Okay.
Because if we go to the traditional market in in area in Indonesia, they're still using cash.
Correct.
How do we
Yes.
how do we try to drive them to move from the digital? Because we have to give the education. What is the benefit? Why is the Finnet using a digital?
Right.
Because sometimes we talk to them. If you use the, I think cash, you can get the counterfeiting.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
To
That's a good point.
counterfeiting.
You can lose.
You can
you
lose.
can lose the cash
and
as well.
Because cash. That's why try to move to change their behavior to use this, and then also the problem not only behavior, but right now if you you know that the communications, the infrastructure in the suburb area or the area outside Jakarta, I think still not quite good.
Right.
That's why this is a obligation by the government to facilitate all of those infrastructure to make easier using the digital payment.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors. For example, a simple one is internet connection.
Yep.
Can anyone get
Yeah.
full internet connection
Yeah.
everywhere so they
Yes.
can easily access their digital payment?
Internet connection, I think, only the big city.
Correct.
But if you
Bet
go to
it's
the
better.
small city, that's still the problem.
It's
That's
challenging.
why we have to.
Yeah.
That's why we have to try to talk with all of the regulatory to set up or to drive the infrastructure.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's very feasible. I mean, if you expect us to be digitalized
Yeah.
and everybody to be digitalized, everybody has
Yeah.
have to have the access to it as well. But one interesting thing that was mentioned before is the practicality of having digital payments, right? The practicality, you don't have to hold cash, it minimizes risk of loss and, of course, risk of counterfeit. And what is going to be the future of digital payments like? Is paper money going to be completely extinct? Because I think we've mentioned, we've heard recently in the finance ministers meeting, they're considering digital currency.
Yes.
What will that look like, that landscape?
Yeah, especially with the growth. You,
Yeah.
you mentioned this, 20 to 30% growth. Eventually, it'll just keep growing, and
Yeah.
less and less people
Yeah.
use actual money.
Yeah. If you are talking the digital payment in the context of Indonesia, Indonesia right now is one of the countries that have a use of we call it cash society. Indonesia is categorized as cash society.
Yeah.
That's why to accelerate to the non-cash facility, that's why we have to. I think we have to develop a lot of the, the infrastructures,
Yeah.
and then the educations also one of the part of the developing the digital infrastructure. That's I think one of the things. Can you elaborate any more about this? Because I have some the questions. About this. Is it okay?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, what I were saying, of course, Bapak, you were thinking about, the infrastructure. So basically the future of digital payment. What is it going to look like in 5 years? Let's say.
And
Will
where
we
will-
have more users?
Yeah.
We have more infrastructure.
And I'm curious as to
less
where
paper
Finnet,
money
where
Okay.
Finnet would be.
and Finnet. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So the industry itself, the industry I've already talked before, all of the digital payment will be boosting, will be growth.
Yeah.
Will until 20 or 30%. With this growth, I think all of the players will be facilitating a lot of the transformation to the
Yep.
digital payment.
Okay.
That's why the behavior they are using the digital payment. Also the regulator. Also they're thinking right now to just central bank digital currency.
Yes.
All using the digital. So with those environment, I think in the futures, Indonesia will be moved to the digital payment. But we have to think about Indonesia also. But in terms of, because I already talked, in terms of infrastructure, still left behind, particularly in the small city. That's why the digital payment, I think, only grow fast in the big city, in the big city in Indonesia. But in the small area, I think they still left behind.
Yeah.
But how about the Finnet? How about the Finnet to facilitating this event? I think Finnet right now try to develop a lot of product, particularly with the license that Finnet have to facilitate of the payment in the both in the rural area and then also in the big city. We have compete
Okay.
with the Finnet license. We have already have the e-money. We have a wallet.
Yeah.
And then we have our QRES also. With those, I think Finnet will be create a lot of product and then facilitating all of the society to move from cash to the digital payment.
I'm glad that Finnet has identified the needs of those rural areas because in the big city, it's not hard to convince people
Yeah.
to use digital payment. It's practically everywhere you go. But I do agree because, we travel out of town sometimes and we do see a difference
Yeah.
between the capital city that we live in and some other major cities around the country as well as those rural areas. So we hope that we do reach that era sooner
Yes.
than later.
Yes.
Okay.
Bapak, thank you so much for your
Yes, thank
time
you
and thank you
very
for
much.
joining us here today.
Yeah.
Good luck
Thank
with
you.
Finnet, and we hope to talk
Yeah.
to you again real soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right.
Well, let's take a break and we'll have a recap from our previous news in our previous segments. So make sure to stay tuned with us for more information on C Morning Show. See you today.